Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So since it's finally October, I decided to do a few Halloween looks, starting with this gothic emo vampy look. Regardless of the look, you always want your skin to be prepped nicely, so I'm going in with the Milk Vegan Milk Moisturizer all over my face. It's a pretty dense cream, but it also absorbs quite nicely. Next, to smooth out any texture on my face, I'm using the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Blurring Primer just in the middle parts of my face, you know the drill. Once that product has worked its way into my skin, I'm going to start with foundation, and I'm using the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in Punjab. And I wanted to choose a foundation that was a little bit lighter than my skin tone already, and you can see that this foundation is a little bit lighter because it's a gothic, emo, vampy kind of look, which is kind of vampire-esque. I wanted my skin to look a little bit more pale. As you can see, I've put on way too much, so I'm just using my beauty blender to take off any excess and just to blend that in nicely into the skin, because I don't want to make it look like a mask, you know. So I'm just going to pat that in, and then to give my lips a little bit of a flush, I'm going with the Clarins Water Lip Stain. I always do this before I start the rest of my makeup because it just gives me a more clear idea of how much I need to put on my face. Now, because I want my skin to look pale and lighter than I am, I'm going in with this concealer, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer. It's the lightest concealer I own. So I'm just putting this all over the face and making sure not to add any warmth later on so that my face looks nice and pale, you know, like a vampire. Next, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in Light, and I'm using this product specifically because it's more of a ashy contour rather than a bronzer, although you can see it does have some warmth. We're gonna cover up that warmth later on with a nice cool toned ashy contour color, but just to start, I did want to give my skin a little bit of dimension so the cheekbones can pop. To set that in place, I'm using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder, and this is just the translucent color. So because this look is an extremely pale look that I'm trying to achieve, I do want my skin to look super matte, so I'm just putting this powder everywhere. Now this step is completely unnecessary, but this is the Nars Tinted Smudge Proof eye base, and I don't know why I did this because it's not necessary at all. We're going to go in with a black gel liner all over the lid later on. I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette, and I'm going to use this ashy grayish contour shade on the cheekbones. Because I want my face to not have any warmth, I want the contour to be like a shadow, like an ashy shadow, like you would see on any, you know, gothic or vampire-esque creatures. Now, before we move on to the eyes, of course I need to do my brows. So first I'm going to start off by brushing those brows up, giving them the shape that I want as usual, and then I'm going to go in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow in 3.5, and I'm just going to push those hairs up and then fill them in. And of course, because I want my features to be quite dainty so that the makeup can shine, I'm going to make sure that my brows are as thin as possible, and to do this I'm going to brush the hairs down as well and just fill in any sparse areas underneath that brushed down part. In doing so, you just make sure that your brows aren't overlined. And then repeating those exact same steps to the other brow, making sure that they look as even as possible, if you can. Once the brows are filled in, I'm going in with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and I'm just going to push them up because I want the brows to go upward and I just want them to be almost a little bit feathered. So I'm just going to push them up and put them in place. Okay, now the star of the show, I'm going to use the Inglot AMC Gel Liner all over my lids to act as a cream shadow. Just my excitement right now. I've never done something like this before, so I'm just so excited. I think you can tell. But okay, so we just take that liner as a cream shadow and just work it up towards the lid, starting at the root of the lash and then bringing it upward, and then slowly just smudging it so that it becomes a little bit gray and a little bit smoky. So as you can see, as I have less product on the brush now, I'm just bringing it up and feathering it out, and I'm putting it on the lower lash line as well and just around the entire eye, just so that it looks smoky, and you don't want the most intense color payoff on the outskirts, we want it on the lid. Since I'm going one eye at a time, I'm going to go in with that black shadow from that Kat Von D palette and just pack that on top of that cream shadow. 1, so it doesn't crease, and 2, so that the color payoff is even stronger. Taking a little bit more of that black and a little bit of gray as well, we're just gonna blend that into the crease so that it's nice and smoky, and we're gonna start winging that out as well, just because I like winging out my shadow. I didn't want this vampy look to just be black or gray. I wanted to add a little bit of a purple element, so I took this purpley shadow from the NYX The Ultimate Edit Brights palette, and I'm just going to smudge that into the crease so that it looks a little bit more romanticized and not so black and white. After pushing that shadow up into my brows, this is one eye done, and we're going to start on the next eye now. So we're just going to do the exact same steps, but this time, of course, it's going to be a little bit easier and a little bit quicker because you've already done it before. Now that the general look is done, we're going to line the waterline with the same gel liner, and this is a very, very strong eyeliner, so it's going to stay on your waterline the whole day. So I wanted to add another dark element, so using a slight pinky purple shadow, I'm trying to add these dim veins underneath my eyes just to give the look a little bit more personality. I can see that my face is still not pale enough, so I'm going in with this white shadow from that same palette and just setting my face with this. And I think this really does it for me. It ties the entire look together. It brings that vampire-esque paleness. So I'm just putting that all over my face, and you can see instantly, because it's such a stark white, that I'm looking lifeless, which is goal accomplished. So before adding lashes, I'm going in with the Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. And this is a great mascara just for lengthening and coating the lashes, which is why I love it. For lashes, I'm going in with the Ardell Demi Wispy lashes. They're super thin, but they just make the look come together. Now just doing some final touch-ups and fixing the brows. You want to make sure you keep fixing your brows as you're doing your makeup, because trust me, they just get disheveled all the time. For highlighter, I'm using the OFRA Beverly Hills highlighter. I'm using the whitest highlighter in this palette. This is the whitest highlighter I own. And I think this just adds another element of that vampire sheen to the look, which is great. On to the lips. I'm using the Smashbox eyeliner in Fishnet as a lip liner. This wasn't the smartest idea. I probably should have used the AMC liner by Inglot, but it worked out just fine actually. As long as it's sharpened well, it works fine. Finally, the star of this entire show, the STUNNA lip paint in Uninvited by Fenty Beauty. It's pretty straightforward. It's a black liquid lipstick, but it's a great one. So I ended up doing a few coats of this liquid lipstick because I wanted to be as black as possible. I didn't want that hint of grayness in between. So eventually I did get there, but it took a little bit of time. So with the lips complete, this is the final look, you guys. What do you think? A gothic, emo, vampire-esque Halloween look. I think it's pretty simple to do actually. You just need lots of black. So once again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!